Meet Amber Glenn and Ali Aliu, the two icons currently dismantling and rebuilding the entire legacy of American figure skating. On January 9, 2026, St. Louis's Enterprise Center evolved beyond a simple venue. It became the sacred stage for the Blade Angels' coronation. Claiming the spotlight were two athletes who represent the most extreme contrasting ends of the sport's genetic makeup. In one corner stands 26-year-old Amber Glenn, a relentless physical force who spent a full decade fighting to reach the top. Opposing her is 20-year-old Elisa Liu, a former child prodigy who walked away, returned, and reclaimed global dominance in under 18 months. The atmosphere inside that building was heavy with a tension that far exceeded the typical nerves of an Olympic season. It felt like the dawn of a revolution, as Amber Glenn did much more than just secure her third consecutive national title. She became the first woman to achieve that feat since the legendary Michelle Kwan, effectively torching the old record books. Her short program mark of 83.05 wasn't just a personal best. It was the highest score in the history of the American women's circuit. Yet, in a twist of fate, Elisa Liu had established that very same record only a few minutes earlier. The lead was traded back and forth like a high-speed relay baton, leaving 17,000 spectators gasping for air. They've embraced the nickname Blade Angels, a title Elisa coined in a group text to celebrate the deep bond between herself, Amber, and Isabeau Levito. But don't let that celestial branding lead you to believe they aren't fierce competitors. What we are watching in 2026 is an all-out technical and creative arms race, pitting a veteran's raw power against a world champion's poetic grace. The ultimate debate isn't just about who takes gold in Milan, but whose philosophy of skating is truly superior. Dive into Reddit or any skating community right now, and you'll find the discourse over Amber Glenn's technique reaching a fever pitch. Certain fans have labeled her the Tonya Harding of the modern era, not for the controversy, but for her staggering, unfiltered athletic might. Amber Glenn doesn't simply glide across the ice. She conquers the entire rink. When she launches into her Madonna medley, she reaches a velocity that most rivals only hit in a straight-line dash. She treats her 5'5" frame like a high-octane, precision-engineered machine. While other athletes need 6 or 7 strokes to hit top gear, Amber does it in 3, wielding sheer speed as her most lethal asset. During her historic 83.05 performance in St. Louis, her opening triple axel didn't just land, it took flight. Earning a grade of execution of +2.51, she was rewarded for far more than just staying on her feet. The judges were captivated by the sheer violence and explosive scale of the jump. It was absolutely massive. That level of presence is palpable even through a television screen, but such raw force often demands a tactical trade-off. The controversy surrounding Glenn fixates on her edges, the ability to tilt deeply into a curve without sacrificing any momentum. Critics often argue that Amber tends to bully her way through her blade work. She leverages her muscular build to drive through footwork sequences. While fast and impressive, it lacks a certain delicate softness. As the veteran matriarch of Team USA at 26, she brings a seasoned, mature strength that allows her to dominate the stadium. She performs with a sophisticated grit that screams, "I have survived the fire and I am still standing." In 2026, Amber Glenn isn't auditioning for the role of a princess, she is hunting for immortality. Now, consider Elisa Liu. If Amber is a raging thunderstorm, Elisa is a clear, flowing mountain stream. Elisa's trek toward the 2026 Games is arguably the most spectacular second act the sports world has ever seen. After a 7th-place finish in Beijing as an exhausted 16-year-old, she simply vanished, retired, and tried to find a normal life. Upon her return, she wasn't just a jumping bean anymore. She had evolved into a true artist, and the online consensus reflects that shift. Many believe Elisa possesses the finer technical foundation, trading Glenn's horsepower for pure, effortless efficiency. She generates incredible glide from a mere 2 crossovers, her edges whispering across the ice with silent, profound depth. She flows through her movements rather than forcing them. Her St. Louis performance to Laufey's Promise rendered the arena completely motionless. This was high-caliber, expensive skating, organic, seamless, and seemingly as light as a feather. But Liu is also a master strategist. In 2026, she unveiled a high-energy Lady Gaga medley featuring paparazzi and Bad Romance. It was a total crowd-pleaser that had 17,000 people clapping in perfect rhythm. However, Elisa realized mid-season that while Gaga was fun, it lacked the artistic weight needed to secure Olympic gold. She has officially confirmed she is reverting to her MacArthur Park routine for Milan, the masterpiece that won her the 2025 world title. The move is calculated to highlight her artistry, emphasizing that blade angel quality that earns massive marks from the judging panel. Ultimately, Alisa's secret weapon isn't a high-flying triple axel, it is her unshakable, machine-like consistency. She executed 7 triple rotations in St. Louis, earning flawless execution marks on every single technical piece. While she lacks Amber's explosive force, she remarkably avoids those deep competitive slumps as well. Alisa's radiance melts the panel. She masters complexity with such grace that in 2026, effortless charm is the ultimate power move. Figure skating lore often suggests that fierce rivalries must inherently be poisonous. Forget Kerrigan and Harding. In 2026, Amber Glenn and Elisa Liu are shattering that old-school icy stereotype. Dubbing themselves the Blade Angels, Elisa's own invention, they've adopted a radical psychological approach to their high-stakes sport. Rather than viewing each other as hurdles, they act as stabilizing anchors. Observe the St. Louis kiss and cry clips. Elisa and Isabeau Levito are there, shouting wildly in support of Amber. When Amber triumphed, Elisa hugged her first. Their shared messages are buzzing with activity every single day. This isn't mere kindness, it's a calculated tactical play to diffuse Olympic-level performance anxiety. Walking this path together makes the crushing Olympic burden feel lighter. You aren't a lone island, you're a unified fleet. By nurturing this sanctuary, they're dodging the mental fatigue that nearly derailed Elisa's journey back in 2022. After taking silver behind Amber, Elisa declared how incredibly proud she was of their collective victory. She noted that sharing a podium means more bonding time. This genuine sisterhood is actually transforming them into sharper competitors. When the skater performing before you delivers a masterpiece, as Elisa did in St. Louis, you are forced to elevate your own game. Amber admitted following Elisa was terrifying, yet that fear fueled her historic 150.50 free skate. These angels aren't just marketing, they're a fortress against high-stakes tension. Now, we reach the heart of the internet drama, the actual scores. Scoring is a dual beast, the technical execution tally versus the elusive program component evaluation for artistry. The technical side specifically measures the difficulty of jumps and spins. Component marks reward the poetry and blade mastery. Here's where the Amber versus Elisa debate gets truly messy. Amber typically leads technically because of her triple axel. It's a base value bomb that provides her with an immediate edge. However, online skating critics argue Elisa should be winning on the program component side. They claim her physical precision and deep blade work are leagues ahead. They highlight her step sequences and fluid transitions as evidence of a much higher caliber of skating. Supporters say Amber muscles through while Elisa glides, but the St. Louis officials viewed the situation quite differently. They awarded Amber 9s in presentation. Why? Because of her unrivaled velocity and massive physical reach. Amber's pace is sophisticated. She eats up the rink looking like a mature skater, strong, clear, and fully present. To a judge sitting 5 feet away, that raw energy is absolutely hypnotic. Elisa may be the silky violin, but Amber is the roaring guitar solo, its classical finesse versus rock and roll. One demonstrates traditional perfection, while the other commands a magnetism that moves the entire crowd. In 2026, judges reward both. But heading to Milan, the chasm between raw power and pure art is shrinking. Elisa has gained immense speed since her comeback, while Amber has refined her lyrical grace. They're meeting in the middle, making the Olympic podium a total toss-up. The Italian Games are just days away. The Blade Angels Amber, Elisa, and Isabeau represent the most formidable American female squad seen in a generation. They aren't just there to participate. They're hunting for a medal that no American woman has touched since 2006. The Milan strategy is clear. Amber Glenn must land that triple axel. Period. If she hits it, she can defeat anyone on Earth. She is the short program's apex predator. Hitting that jump to her Madonna track could put her in the lead for the finale. Elisa Liu needs to be the phantom. She must deliver 2 flawless programs with 0 deductions. She's wagering on her rock-solid consistency and elite artistry marks to carry her through. Returning to MacArthur Park shows she knows judges love her champion lineage. But a fresh hurdle exists. The Milanese ice is reportedly hard and quick, favoring Amber's explosive power but punishing Elisa's light floating technique. If the surface is brittle, Elisa's edges must be razor-sharp. If it's fast, Amber might lose control of her momentum. Then there is the Japan factor. Kaori Sakamoto remains the ultimate gold standard. Fusing Amber's raw force with Elisa's razor-sharp grace, she is a nightmare scenario. To survive, The Blade Angels must tap into every ounce of their souls. Yet, for the first time in 20 years, that American dread has vanished. Instead of trembling, they are wearing smiles like they have finally found their playground. Our world thrives on division, always hunting for a champion to worship and a failure to forget. We are obsessed with ranking one above the rest. However, 2026 is proving that such a choice is completely unnecessary. The true magic of the Blade Angels is not found in a scorecard or a landing. It is their rare gift of fueling one another's brilliance. Amber Glenn proves that 26 and queer can redefine athletic dominance. She is rewriting the rulebook, showing the world that your peak is whenever you decide. Elisa Liu demonstrates the bravery of abandoning expectations to rediscover your soul, only to return more formidable than ever before. Her journey highlights that pure happiness is actually the ultimate secret weapon for elite performance. No matter if you crave Amber's explosive triple axel or Elisa's buttery high-end footwork, the conclusion remains exactly the same. American ice skating has finally returned. While society demands athletes stay in their lanes, these stars are shattering every stereotype. They are the veteran and the phenom, the fighter and the saint. Officials in Italy will hand out the hardware, while internet forums dissect the decimal points for decades to come. Yet, as these skaters step onto the Olympic stage, their impact has already been etched into history. Amber and Elisa did not simply snatch the national crown. They breathed life back into the very spirit of the rink. By 2026, that becomes the solitary metric worth measuring.